Well, hello and welcome to Nerd BS. I don't know why that felt weird, but welcome to another episode. We are on episode 2 of season 2 now, 22, I guess. I don't know, 202. There'll be some in the description, I'm sure. We are recording on January 22nd of
A lot of twos.
2023. A lot of twos. Yeah, there's a lot of twos. That's crazy. I'm Alan, and we have Kyle poking in there. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing pretty well, actually. I'm very tired as usual, but I'm doing well.
Yeah, no, it's been busy for all of us. I'm sure. I think everybody I've kept talking to. You get a new year, and I don't know why. I always think like, oh, it's a new year, it's fresh start. But yeah, it's a fresh start to get everything done. I mean, taxes. I'm getting tax
Oh
forms coming
yeah,
in the mail already. I'm just
yeah.
like, oh my
I
god,
know.
it's just another year on this planet. Uh, how you
You still
feeling
got
over
a
there,
kid.
Tomas?
You still got a dependent though. Oh yeah, sorry,
I do
Tomas.
have a
Oh,
I do have a dependent. Yes, that is nice, but we'll see. Anyways, yeah. Go Tomas.
all right. Well, yeah, I'm pretty tired too. I'm doing good though,
Good
but
night.
yeah,
Yeah, good night, everybody.
yeah, we're signing off. No,
To bed.
I'm doing pretty good though. New year, new dollar, right? So I
New
don't
Oh
know what
year,
yeah.
new dollar. I haven't heard that
I
one
don't know.
before.
I don't know where that
Interesting. I
came
guess that's
from,
true.
but
I mean, we're gonna get new
That's
money
our
into
thing.
circulation, right? With a new year on it, I guess. I don't know.
right,
Where
new
I
Is
went
that
with
a
it.
is that a thing? I'm
coins.
looking now.
I
I
don't
have
know.
no
Let's
I don't
idea. I
know.
am just.
let's make
I
that
know
our
money
thing.
has dates on it, so I'm
Yeah, it
assuming that
does. So I got
Let's
every
make
it.
that
year you
our
get
thing.
something.
That is now the Nerd BS. It's the Nerd BS slogan.
Another year, another
Presenting
dollar.
New year, new
New
dollar.
dollar.
Not
Excellent,
another year,
excellent.
new year. It's fresh.
Yeah, it's fresh dollar.
Fresh year, fresh dollar. All right. Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk this evening, but I mean, before we get to all this other nonsense, I mean, what anything new happening in anybody's lives? I mean, anything fun or interesting, or are we all just a bunch of boring old people? How's it?
Well,
What's going on with
Uh,
you guys?
a little bit of both. I was watching football today because it's their playoff. They're in the playoffs, so
is it
Oh yeah.
already? Oh
yeah,
crap! I have
yeah.
not been keeping up with that
So
at all.
next week will be not division conference champs, and then two weeks from that will be Super Bowl. So there's basically 3 games left in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a good game on tonight. The not the Bills game, but the one after them. 49ers and Cowboys. Really good game. So I actually got to watch it. It was midday. Made some snacks, some bacon wraps, little smokies, and I had some
Nice.
beer. It was nice. Yeah.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Uh, we've been just kind of chilling. I'm trying to think like anything exciting besides my Fire Emblem exploits that happened, but I'll talk about that later. Uh, that's interesting. Football. I haven't watched football in a long time. Actually, I
Yeah,
haven't really been
I
paying
haven't.
attention.
I try to, right? So I was doing Thursday night football, but then I have to do basketball practice now. Monday
Yeah.
night football, but now I have group with my wife. We have a church group we go to on Monday nights, and then that Sunday nights we're doing this Sunday night football.
Yeah.
So and then Sunday
Yeah.
mornings we're at church. So like I get home and most of the games are over, and it's just now that they're in playoffs, they're at different times. There's a couple games on Saturday. It's like it's a sweet time of football season that I can actually watch.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome. Well, go watch yourself some football. I guess the Super Bowl is coming soon. What teams are planned? Is there anything like teams planning going to the Super Bowl or anything like that? I'm not sure how that
But
works, but I know eventually there's going to be two teams, right, at the Super Bowl. That's the goal.
so
Yes.
there's 4
That's the
teams
idea.
left.
That's what
Next,
you want to achieve.
Okay.
I think every team wants that.
Yeah.
It's the Philadelphia and the Bengals, I believe. Or no, the Bengals are in it. It's Bengals versus 49ers next week, and then Philadelphia Eagles versus who's it going to be? The Chiefs.
Well, I'm
So
rooting for the
Kansas City.
Niners.
Yeah, a lot of people are. Eagles have been my team for a long time, so I'm hoping they go all the way.
Yeah, I grew up north though, so I was always more or less supposed to be a Niners fan.
Yeah, man, they've been doing good in playoffs. I was surprised. And then the Bills
Yeah.
lost. I was really surprised with that. They were doing good. So I don't know, Alan. Any of those teams intrigue you?
I no, I mean, I've always like kind of, I was always kind of like a follower on teams for a long time when I was trying to get into football. But at one point, I chose the Raiders for a bit. But
Yeah,
at that
poor
time, they
choice.
were like they were, I don't know how they're doing now, but they
The
weren't doing great
same.
then either. So
The
uh,
same.
Now
so
they're
it definitely
Vegas'
crushed a lot of
problem.
my excitement. And then like every time I was like, "What? Oh, my team just the team I
Yeah,
decide to choose sucks."
they
Yeah, well
come
now
out
Uh,
they're
every year.
Vegas' problem. So
Yeah, they're in
Yeah,
Vegas
this is
now.
back when they were Oakland when I was watching it,
yeah,
so this is a while ago.
They,
I was hoping they'd actually move to LA. I was like, oh, well, maybe that'd be kind of cool.
yeah,
They're a little closer, but
I
still,
think they did for like what about
whatever.
a year,
did
but
they?
they come out
Yeah, yeah,
swinging every year, and then they just at the end of the back half of the season. It's like, man, I don't know what they got to
yeah.
do, but it's like there's always hope. Everyone's always excited. I'm even excited. Like, cool. If the Raiders go, I won't even be mad. But they always poop out, man. I don't know what they're doing over there. I'm sure
Yeah.
Vegas is helping.
I don't know. Yeah, I hope it is. I mean, I saw the stadium when I was there last time. Like when they were, I think it was built at the time, so it looked like a
Yeah,
nice
but
stadium. I mean,
it
doesn't
is.
mean
But
anything.
think about all the distractions as a player, and you live there, right? Like you
Oh
play.
goodness, yeah, you're right. Holy crap, yeah, you got money, and you got easy access to like whatever
Yeah,
you want.
right.
So,
Yeah.
oof,
Anyways,
yeah, I can see the temptations, raking up.
yeah, I would
Uh,
never make it.
me neither. Well, well, we can go through our plugs real quick, and then we'll get some uh, other things that have been popping around in video games and whatnot. We got. I'm gonna do mine real quick, as in the casts. We got Twitter at nerd_bs. Our email at nerdbackstory@gmail.com. My personal Twitter at scadmatrix. Twitter seems to be doing okay, so I'm curious to see where it goes. I feel like it's probably not going to be dying anytime soon, although Musk keeps doing some interesting things, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
But uh,
I stopped following that story. It's old to me.
there's not a whole lot going on with that store anymore. That's what is going on. I mean, it
It's
kind of
fine.
a bit of it's died down. Yeah.
It does.
Um,
There's a
but
feeling that it's going to go away, but I don't. It's not.
I honestly don't mind it going away because I feel like something else will just come up anyways. So we'll see what happens.
True. Yeah.
Uh, but if you want to actually keep in contact with us, besides that, we have our Discord, which I will throw the link down in the description. If you're on an older episode, the link may not work, so just go to a newer episode or message any of the social media garbage that we're shooting out. Uh, uh, message any of those, and I'm sure somebody will get you in there. That's where the good conversations happen, when they happen. So when things start
Yes.
popping off, we start talking about things, and then we pick and choose what goes in the cast from there. So, anyway, so why don't we go with we'll go with Tomas and then Kyle. So why don't you go, Tomas, and when you're done, Kyle will wrap us up.
Yeah, all right. So my Twitter is Tomas F. Diaz 86. It's the same for my Instagram. I have a website, tomasfdiaz.com. So that's all you need to know. Go to them. I post stories and maps and all types of fun stuff.
Did you say
So
maps?
yeah, I made a bunch of maps that I
Oh,
posted
I've seen the
last week.
stories.
Yeah, the maps are on the website,
Gotcha.
tomasfdiaz.com.
Oh, I'll have to explore that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, you can find me at skybossin_video games on Instagram. and that'll just take you wherever you need to go. And then February 26th. So I actually listened to our last episode, and I said the wrong date. February 26th, I will be in Lake Elsinore, signing autographs and selling video games. Minus minus the autographs, but I'm doing like a little mini expo at Retro Gorilla February 26th. It's on a Sunday. Should be a lot of fun. I got a lot of good stuff. I've been picking up a lot of cool stuff. Like I don't know if you guys knew this, they made an atomic green Nintendo 64 that came with
Oh yeah.
Donkey Kong 64. Yeah, I picked one of those up.
That's a
So
sick one. Oh, that's a sick one.
yeah,
For
it's gonna
sure.
be for sale. Really good shape. Yeah. So
Yeah, there's not a
um,
lot. There's not a lot of them, so gotta snatch those up.
yeah, dude, 64 did not sell as well as I thought. Because it was pre like internet,
Yeah.
like information
Yeah.
days. So we had no idea. But in our world, like everyone had one.
Yeah,
All
it
five
did
of us.
okay, but like compared to the PlayStation, it didn't do as well.
No, like
And
not even
the
close.
GameCube was supposed to be like they were like, well, this is going to be different. We're going to market this one different. We're going to push it out, and it did
they
even
did.
worse.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. Yeah. And yeah, so those two are, because there's low numbers, they are, like you said, they're hard to find, and the price is only going up on that stuff. And the 64 stuff is like, you don't have to worry about scratches on the disc. The carts usually work unless someone, took a hammer to it. So it's really easy to work on that stuff. And you can even play Japanese games on it real easy. There's a real easy way to put Japanese games on it.
There's really easy ways to like modify it, which is awesome. But pretty soon, those 64s will be looking around and wondering if they're the last of them, right? Last of Us came out this last week.
20 years later.
It's a good try. It was a good try.
I tried. I thought I could spin it better. But anyways, Last of Us did come out this last week. The show, Last of Us, based off of the hit video game, PlayStation exclusive, but I think it's also on PC now. But the show did come out with I can't remember either of the actors right now, but
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal and the little girl from Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. Oh my goodness,
Bella Ramsey is her name.
Bella Ramsey. That seems like an easy name. You should remember that.
Right?
That seems like that's an easy name to remember.
Let's try to remember that.
I'll forget it. But anyways, Bella Ramsey. I'll try to remember.
You forgot everyone.
They are the stars of the show.
You were fair. You forgot everybody's name.
Oh yeah, I do not give anybody any favors. Terrible with names. But either way, I watched it. Kyle watched it.
I did.
How did you feel, Kyle? You're Tomas didn't, because he said I think he's
staunchly opposed.
He's opposed of it. Yeah.
No, I used my free
boycotting
trial.
it. That was the word.
I used my free trial. I don't have money. I'm broke. So those are my.
There you go. HBO, you need to give this man another free trial.
No.
I think it was $15. I'll have to look it up now, but they did raise the price right before Last of Us. They bumped it up.
Yeah.
So they raised it by $1.
Dude, I ended up
I
got a few month subscription from something I bought during Christmas.
Oh.
It was like, hey, here's 3 months of HBO Max of some movie.
Yeah,
I couldn't even tell you what movie it was.
I did see that a couple times. Like they keep giving them away. Yeah.
So check all those stupid inserts if you ever buy Blu-rays.
I'm gonna go look in all my Blu-rays real quick.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, anything you got for Christmas?
Probably should. Yeah, you might see something. Yeah, but you're the guy who played the video game. You've played both of the first game and the second game. So how do you feel this portrayal of it does? How do you feel like how it does?
I don't know if I platinumed the first one. I definitely platinumed number 2.
Oh wow! And you said you didn't really like that one that much, story-wise.
Not as much, but still enough, obviously, to go through.
But didn't the first one have like a weird online platinum, which was kind of an issue?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not doing all that. Because the online multiplayer was actually pretty good for the Last of Us. They're still planning on coming out with it for number 2, which is just like bonkers.
Still? It's a bit late on that train, right?
Well, It is, but I think we're realizing how difficult it is to make a AAA title, especially with like a its own online multiplayer. It's not something it's picked up. It's not just it's not what's it, Overwatch 2. They're not just porting it over. It's
Yeah.
it's a whole brand new engine and everything. So I think we're learning that it takes like close to a decade to make these AAA titles on these next gen consoles. So that aside, the show, we're not going to spoil it. We'll save that for the end.
Oh yeah, we are going to spoil it at the end though. So at the end of the podcast, stick around. We'll have a little discussion about with spoilers added on. So we will warn you again when that happens. But go ahead, Kyle. Continue.
Yeah, so I'll just give you like my experience, so I don't spoil anything. We talked about it last Sunday, or 2 Sundays ago, that we were going to watch it, and so then the following week when it came out, we put the kids to bed, and about 9 o'clock rolls around, and I watch or play something else. I don't even know what it was. But it starts getting late. I'm like, oh wait, I need to watch Last of Us because I'm not going to have a chance to
Ooh,
during the
that
week.
late?
Yeah. So I
Ooh.
started at like 10:30, maybe even 11, because it was we had plans for the rest of the week. There was just no other way I was going to do it.
No other time, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so they open it up, and I'm like, oh, it's an hour and a half for episode 1.
Oh,
Yeah. So that kind of upset me. I was like, why is this show this long? Like, why are we not capping it at an hour? And
What's kind of funny too is we had a similar reaction, and then I was like, "Well, it's the premiere, so obviously it's going to be longer." And then they're all like available. I mean, not legally, you can actually get them illegally right now. All the whole season, apparently, from what I've understood, and also
Sure.
on IMDb, it has timestamps for each of them, so you know how long each of the episodes are. They're all around the same length, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be like, yeah. So
and
there you
maybe
go.
so I did like it. So maybe that's what these video game to TV show adaptations need is just more time. But with that being said, it is too long. I just felt like it was too long for a show. Like if it was just a movie, it'd be like, cool, hour and a half, great. But knowing that there's more episodes, like that's too much.
I get it. Yeah,
that's kind of where I was at, and we'll talk more about it. Just our different perspectives. I forgot if you had played it or not, though, Tomas. Have you played the games?
Yeah, I played the first one. I never got around to the second one, but I did play the first one.
I don't think they're diving into the second one.
I did really like the first one. I don't know. I don't remember why I didn't get the second one. I just never got around to it, and then the next thing I knew, there was another game out I wanted, and then I just never went back.
Wait, you say there's too many games out? That's what I mean. That's what I'm hearing. There's way too many games out. But
yeah.
Anyways, I barely played Last of Us. I played the beginning, and then I was struggling with it. So
what were, if I may ask?
I was struggling with at the time. It was. I don't do good with horror games, number one, usually. And there was a moment where you're like in this basement, and I talked to somebody else about it, and he knew exactly what I was talking about. I think Kyle's even said he knew exactly what I was talking about, because I got there and I was like, it was very terrifying, and also I was already struggling with executions because they were just so like the sound effects was really good, but to the point where it was almost too good. And also like it was just, it became too much for me. And then with the horror aspects later, I was just like, you know what, I'm just stepping away. And I did. And I kind of regret it, because I really wish I would have gone past it, because I knew the story was so great. And that's usually what I look for in games in general. So I had seen the majority of this in the game, so I kind of knew what was going to happen. But still, I didn't remember it like scene by scene either. So, and they also, it is its own thing, even though it is recreating something. But I really enjoyed it. My wife really enjoyed it, and my son really enjoyed it. Me and my wife used to watch The Walking Dead up until like season
Jeez.
6.
Yeah, I
Uh,
caught too many
Oh
episodes.
wow,
I
I
mean,
think I
too many
did the same.
seasons. I didn't even get that
yeah,
far.
it was
I did
right
not.
around when they were executing people with the baseball bat, dude. Uh,
Mm,
they
yeah,
killed somebody. They killed somebody, and uh, we tried to. After that happened, we tried like 1 or 2 episodes in the next season when it came out, and we were just like, we're done."
didn't like the churn. Yeah,
And yeah,
I started feeling depressed. I remember like after a few seasons of Walking Dead, I was like, I was like excited for it, and I watched it with some friends or whatever, and I was like, I watched an episode by myself. I was like, I just feel depressed after watching this Walking Dead.
it is
Just
depressing. Yeah, because it just
yeah,
doesn't end either. It just
right.
keeps
There's no
going.
hope. There's no finish. It's just like, oh, I don't
And
want
then
that.
I just remember like each. I mean, this is not a retrospective of Walking Dead. The point is, the reason I even brought it up was we
That'll
got
be
that
next week.
vibe again. I loved season 1 of Walking Dead, and I will die on that hill that season is phenomenal on its own,
Yeah, it
beginning to
is.
end. Perfect season. I even have the Blu-ray. It's got black and white. It has a black and white functionality, which is really good as well. I think it makes it really almost even better. Uh, and this was giving me that vibe where I was loving it. The post-apocalyptic. It was done really well. It was scary, but not too scary, and everybody acted perfect. And it was a
Yeah, good
bit
acting.
gory, yeah, for sure. Because even I could see my wife literally cringing and like having little issues with it. So expect that it is there. There's a lot of
Yeah,
little
I mean,
very
it gives you the
disturbing
warning.
images.
It's
It does give you the warning,
TVMA
so
for a reason.
I'm giving you another warning.
The
But
games
it's
were very graphic as well. Like
yeah,
just it's that kind of
but
environment.
very fun. I really enjoyed it though. I had a really good time, and I can't wait for the next episode. I wanted to watch it today, but I was trying to avoid it because I was afraid of like blending the 2 episodes when we do our spoiler.
Yeah, same
So I don't want
here.
to do that,
But
and
now
hopefully
that
Tomas will be able to join us next time.
yeah, we'll make sure you get on that. Now that you're saying that they're all really long, I might have to break it up because there's no way I could
Yeah,
stay up till
that's
past midnight
that's
again.
smart. Yeah, that's very smart.
But
That's
it
a
was
smart
so good.
idea.
The first episode, I was like, I want to keep going, so we'll see.
And I didn't put this on the outline, but I'm gonna add one more thing.
Oh
Something else
no,
that came out.
no,
I'm doing
What?
it.
no.
I'm doing it. I'm cutting off. I'm in charge of this ship. Uh, Vox Machina came out as well. I forgot. It actually
Oh
came
yeah.
out
Actually,
last week.
Imogen and I saw the first 2 episodes of the new season.
Yeah, we watched the first 3 the next day,
Very,
uh,
very
and
fun.
it was very good as well. Very enjoyable.
That's
So
the
if you want,
animated
that's a little bit
show.
more lighthearted. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an animated show. It's on Amazon Prime. It's it's based in D&D world
Hmm.
style uh, from Critical Role, and it's very good as well. It's a bit more lighthearted uh,
Yeah.
Than
than
Last of
Last
Us.
of Us.
You could say
Yeah,
that
than
about
Last of Us.
everything.
Yeah,
Um,
that is true. Because I was like thinking that like technically, Vox Machina was pretty dark actually the first couple episodes, but when you compare it to Last of Us, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a Mickey
It's
Mouse movie. I mean, at that
not that
point.
bad. Yeah.
that's the show that they actually like cuss on, though, right?
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
curse.
Yeah.
There is. I didn't see nudity this time, but there was a little bit of nudity last season, so it's definitely an
Yeah,
adult cartoon.
that threw
That
me
is
for a
definitely an
loop,
adult cartoon.
and so much so that I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, well,
That like
maybe you have to give it another shot someday, but
I
still.
don't know. It look because for me, I see it and I'm like, this is Last Airbender, and then they start cussing and stuff. I'm like, all right, I'm out.
You know what? I didn't even think about that, but the animation style is actually very close.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
very
I
similar.
didn't
that's
watch a lot of
good.
Last Airbender. I don't know it. I don't watch it. I think I watched the first season. I stopped off, dropped off. But yeah, the
Oh
animation
gosh.
style is actually fairly close. So I get it.
Yeah,
Not exact, but close.
yeah, it's similar.
Uh, So, anyways, but I just want to throw that in there. I forgot about it until we were talking about it because I just remembered it because we watched Last of Us one day, and then like the next day we watched those 3 episodes. So,
Nice.
last weekend. So, anyways, oh yeah, because he had Monday off. That's right, MLK Day. That's what we did for
That's
Martin Luther
right.
King Day.
That's when I must have
So,
watched Last of Us. It must have been Monday night or
oh,
something.
possibly, yeah. But we have a lot of video game stuff, including okay, so this goes back to our Discord. I was actually showing off my stuff on Discord that I got because I went down on Friday because I pre-ordered a second copy of Fire Emblem Engage at GameStop specifically for the tarot cards because they're the only ones getting a pre-order bonus of tarot cards. Even though I had the Divine Edition from Walmart already pre-ordered.
Walmart, yeah.
Yeah, so which I already talked about because I talked about it last time on last cast because it wasn't giving me any updates and it didn't seem like the Walmart one was selling out. So I had my hunches that I wasn't even going to get it, that it was just going to get canceled. So at first I didn't mind going down because I went down, I waited, I got the tarot cards, which the guy did tell me as I was getting them. Oh yeah, we only got a couple, by the way. There was a line behind me. There was one lady who was waiting outside with me, and we didn't talk to her or anything, but I let her in because she was there before me, so I let her in go before me. And
Yeah.
she went to the front, and apparently Pokemon cards also came out today, so that's what she was there for.
Yeah.
So that threw me off. I was like, oh okay, that's cool.
know.
I'm
Nintendo,
glad you got your Pokemon cards.
You do this stuff on purpose, Nintendo? You release everything just like, oh yeah, I forgot we're also doing the most popular card game in the world. Same day.
Yeah, but I could see the other Fire Emblem fans and the thing kind of like do a noticeable sigh because online it said on their site a week prior that there was a pre-order bonus for the tarot cards, and it said you would just get the cards when you got the game. So when you got the game shipped to you, that you'd get the cards, and then a week prior they changed it to you have to take your information into a GameStop store to collect your pre-order bonus. So
yeah,
I knew that
top notch.
I knew that it was going to be a tight that they were going to have a very limited quantity. So I did get them. I framed them. I put them on Discord. But I finally was able to play yesterday. Yesterday was I think it was yesterday or the day before was the first time I got to play because I've been just like really busy, so I only got to play for like a little bit at a time. But I put about 7 hours in.
Nice. That's a good amount.
I'm on I'm on chapter 6. Yeah. I played most of it today because actually I had more time today than the previous days. So I want to make sure I could put it in. But so far, so good. I've been having a better time than I remember having with Three Houses at the beginning. My biggest gripe with Three Houses was, and I know technically it was optional, but going around and talking to everybody because it was honestly kind of a slog to just kind of run around the entire school trying to find everybody and talk to them to make sure you get all the.
It's not the PS2 era anymore, right? We don't need to do that kind of stuff in games. Like, give me the action. Let's move on. I can go get the dating simulator if I want it.
Yeah, Engage has kind of stripped out the dating simulator entirely, which honestly is fine with me. I didn't really care about it that much. I do like the dialogue, but they kind of stripped that out too because it took me a second because you don't have to run to people to do the dialogues anymore. You just go into your menu and just click on them and do that kind of stuff. So that's cool too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, everything is much more streamlined, it seems like. The combat is it feels like, I don't even know how to describe, like, it just feels like it's smoother or clickier. Mm-hmm. Like everything seems to move really quick, like moving everything around.
Yeah, that's
like
good.
Compared to Three Houses.
Yeah,
so
that always feels nice.
So it feels good for a tactical RPG. It's like working as intended, I guess. It's also much prettier. It is a new engine. Fabulous. So
nice.
Yeah, it's using the Unity engine. So that's another thing too. So it's been really fun. The story's been really good. It's definitely At the moment, it feels very traditional story. You're the hero, and there's a bad thing coming. So it's very traditional in
Yeah,
that sense. I mean,
which I
it's a bit
love.
more complex than that, but it's fine. Yeah, it works.
I
It's
love that
functional.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, and it works fine, and the combat's great. So I'm really enjoying it. They've added a couple things to make it a
you have
little
like
easier.
you summon like the older players or the players from previous
Yeah,
games.
so each of them has like an engage that's not engage
Oh,
an emblem. So they have emblems that they're attached to the characters. So I've only found a couple of them so far, but you start with Marth, and that's who's
mhm.
like attached to the main protagonist. And you can move them around, like they're all attached to rings, so you can kind of mix and match if you want to, however you want to do it.
Yeah,
But it is nice because they are actually part of the dialogue options as well. Like they have dialogue
of
options
course.
for each of the characters, so
That's
they have
the.
little things too. So there's plenty of ways to get to know your characters without the romancing stuff. Is what I'm getting. There's
I'm
plenty
just
of
ready
stuff.
for the Fire Emblem cinematic universe. Like I don't know why that
Yeah.
hasn't been
I there
established yet.
I've actually thought about that because I know. I mean, in Awakening, and Fates, even in Echoes, and then we had the Three Houses, and now Engage. Like all the cinematics, they're very like you could see a whole show
Yeah,
made in that style easily. So I feel like why hasn't it happened? It feels
I
weird that it
guess
hasn't.
they got to see if Mario performs in the
Yeah,
on film first because that's their
true,
guy.
true.
And
Because there was an anime, but it was a long time ago. It was a very old anime,
is it
and it
really?
has like 2 episodes. Yeah, there's two
I did not
episodes I
know
think that
that.
exist.
Oh,
It's it's from what I've heard, it's not that great, but it's not terrible either, so whatever.
yeah. Well, in the
Uh,
sea that is anime, it's like you can't just rely on the brand. You gotta
yeah, yeah,
you gotta perform. There's too many good ones out there.
for sure. Uh, but yeah, it's been really fun. I dusted off my amiibos and everything, so I've been having a great time with it. So far, this has been a, one of my best experiences of starting a Fire Emblem game. So
That's
I've been in
awesome.
loving it. Uh, my
Tomas is
only
putting his order in right now. I hear him clicking.
excellent. I hope he is. I have 2 copies, so I put my effort in right now. But I feel like there's something else I want to add, and I'm sure I'll think of it later. Uh, but yeah, everything I can't think of anything else that it's wonderful. It's an enjoyable experience so far. But again, I'm still early in the game, so we'll see. Unless something crazy happens, I'm gonna be pretty happy with this
on a
game.
on a serious note, Tomas, do you find like tactical RPGs fun?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of tactical RPGs.
Gotcha.
Uh,
It always throws me off because it's like you don't like tactical RPGs, yet you play Dungeons and Dragons.
yeah, I know it's my
You
little
think,
quirk.
yeah, you'd think it would go, but I get it. I
Yeah,
don't do D&D,
Yeah,
and I love
yeah,
tactical
true,
RPGs.
true. Yeah, I like
I
both. So
I'm glad that you said it's like a little bit smoother or faster or both because
yeah,
I
yeah,
popped in the GameCube one because I recently sold it, and I tried it. When it comes to GameCube games, you got to test them because they're just I don't know
yeah,
what they did with that console, but they didn't do something's wrong. So half the time the games don't work. But that Fire Emblem game on GameCube is expensive.
mm,
So I
mm-hmm,
was testing it and I was playing through it for a little bit, and I was like, man, this is slow. Like it's cool, but
yeah,
not what I remembered. Obviously that time when it came out, it was new and different. But it's like I don't know if I could ever play that game again. It's too
yeah,
old. It's too slow.
I really want to play that one because it has Ike, and like a lot of
Yeah,
people claim that particular game has like one of the best storylines. Uh,
mm.
I'm sure it does, but
so
it's slow, man. Like,
I
I'd be
do
interested
have
to hear.
Dolphin on my laptop, and I can run it
You should
on
have
my
told me.
laptop.
I would let you borrow it.
I've been playing it. Well, I've been I have I
Well, you have been
yeah,
playing it.
so
You already got it.
yeah,
Gotcha.
I played it a little bit. Yeah, I played a little bit. Not
What do you think of
much.
it?
I just turned it on to see if it worked.
Okay.
Uh, but I haven't played it much. So, but
Yeah,
I'm curious because of all the PC, you can like you can modify it a little bit to like make it a little
that'd
faster,
be cool.
up the
Yeah.
resolution, things like that, to make it a little bit more
If you could
manageable.
speed it up, yeah, if you could speed it up, that would be great.
Yeah, I would assume loading times are better, but I'm not sure. It depends on a lot of things. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
the loading times are great in this. And oh yeah, I was gonna say one of my biggest gripes with Fire Emblem is leveling because it always drives me nuts that different every character has like its own leveling thing. So
Mhm.
they have to like defeat bad guys to get experience,
Yeah.
which I understand why they're doing that, but it makes it very frustrating because there's certain instances where you're not going to get certain people in certain places. So it's
Mhm.
like some people just get kind of pulled back a little bit.
Left behind, yeah.
But at the moment, yeah, at the moment it seems like it's been pretty manageable and they have like different ways to get experience, which is pretty nice. Uh so it's been really it feels a little easier to keep my characters on the same level. Is what I'm getting at, which has been
Mhm.
nice. Because that's always a struggle for me, the Fire Emblem
Yeah.
games. It's like trying to make sure
That's
everybody stays at
cool.
the same level.
Yeah. It sounds
Yeah.
like they're listening, maybe all those letters you sent them finally paid off.
Oh yeah, and have I sent so many letters? Uh, oh my goodness. It is nice not to be called professor again, though. That was it got a little old. I won't lie.
You know, my
In
wife
the
my
first
wife
game,
and I have
or in Three
oh,
Houses.
yeah. My wife and I
I
have
keep
a
going.
thing, where with stuff like that, where it's like, "Yeah, I totally agree with you. Somebody should say something." And we say, "You write the letter and I'll sign it. I'll put my name on it,
Oh,
but you gotta do all the
Yeah.
work."
I
So,
Yeah.
get that. I get that. But enough rambling about this wonderful game, and we're going to talk about a game that we wanted to love, and has been talking about
yeah,
on this multiple times, and I actually put
tried.
a bit of time into. I won't lie, I've put a little extra money into it at some point, which I'm regretting now. Uh, Makes sense. But Marvel's Avengers is finally shutting down. It's come. It is
Mhm.
time for it to be ending. It's kind of popped up recently, only the 20th, so 2 days ago. It popped up, and on September 30th, they will be
Oh,
discontinuing it. And then there'll be another update in. It'll be okay. So, but then on March, okay. So on September 30th, they're going to be turning it. They're going to be. It'll be no longer sold. So support will be completely ending at that point. But on
Mhm.
mm,
the 31st of March, all previous content will be free.
that's
So
kinda cool. That's like a
all
nice
skins, all emotes, everything is just going to be available for everybody.
yeah, I think
Um,
I might have to hop back on for one last ride.
I
Mhm.
mean, I would love to do it. They did release Winter Soldier, which was really sad because Winter Soldier came out real recently too. It
Really?
was not that
I didn't
long
even
ago. Winter
know.
Soldier popped.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't even know he
I
came
saw
out.
little bits of it, but yeah, Winter Soldier popped out. So he's been in the game for a little bit, which is part of the reason why this kind of was a shocker for the majority of the community. Because I'm in the communities. I watch them on like Reddit and
Mhm.
Facebook and stuff. Like I watch the communities and their discourse, and just to kind of see if anything's gotten better because they added like female Thor and they added Winter Soldier. And so like when female Thor came out, I remember going specifically into the Facebook group and like, hey, has this is the game like better now? I mean, I see that there's a new character, but have they like fixed the game at all?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And basically everybody who responded was like, no, no, it's the same. They just added a new character. I'm like, oh, okay, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's part of the reason I would imagine. It will be. I mean, on September 30th, I'm pretty sure that's when they're going to completely pull it off the markets. So basically, if you own it, you own it. If you don't, you don't. They're going to keep the. It sounds like they're going to keep the online. They're going to keep it online for a while after. Because I don't know if you guys knew this, but even that Bioware game that I can't think of the name of it right now, with the Iron Man people. Uh,
I don't
that's
Iron
still
Man,
know.
online.
Iron Man people.
BioWare, you had as debt compared to Destiny. Oh my goodness.
I have no idea. Sorry.
Overwatch. Do they do that?
Uh,
Anthem.
Anthem. There it is. Anthem. Anthem
Yeah.
is still technically online. You can still play it.
What?
You can, yeah, you can. It was on sale for like $1.50 recently. I remember that. Uh, but you can
That's
still
still
play
too
it.
much.
Yes. It's what most people were saying when it came when I saw the comments on it. Oh, that's pricey
Dang
for
it!
this game.
They beat me to it.
So they'll probably keep it online for a bit longer. Uh, so
I
now's
know
the
it's
time to
weird.
play it, I guess.
It's weird how how long they keep these like dead games going. But there, someone's out there playing it. Otherwise, they
It's
would shut it
it's
down.
it's got a good story. I mean, the single player story is actually pretty decent, and the combat
Avengers, right?
is Avengers for Avengers.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It
Is
is. It's a good
and the
game.
combat's fun. The combat's fun, but the problem is it breaks so much. Like there's so
Yeah.
many like crashes and weird,
Yeah.
annoying things, and
Well,
it's
and
frustrating to play.
they rode the Avengers hype way too late. Like that game should have came out, while in between those last two Marvel movies. Not the
Mm.
last two, the Avengers movies, Endgame. It should have come
Yeah,
out between
Yeah.
those two. Like,
and that's
and I don't know if they were able to or not, but by the time it came out, I was kind of
yeah.
like, well, they beat what's his face, Thanos. I'm
Yeah,
good.
because you're absolutely correct because when I played, because I played it when I played it a lot, and then when Black Widow came out, I was really enjoying. I really liked Black Widow. I mean, I
You
said
were
on the
hyped
cast how
about it.
much I enjoyed it. I was really hyped, and I went on to the Avengers game, and I actually purchased the movie costume of Black Widow, and I was rocking it for a while and having a great time.
Mm.
And so you're completely right. If they would have somehow done it better when there was more hype with the Avengers, that would have been there would
Yeah,
have been a lot more money in this game.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
And then they
yeah,
did the whole Spider-Man thing. That was like a mess up on their part for
that
sure.
pissed a lot of people off too.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Spider-Man thing
Yeah.
for sure. That was a rough one. I mean, I
yeah.
get why it happened, but
Yeah.
it's
It was just poorly
stupid.
done. Yeah, they
Hmm.
could have still done it, but differently, and it would have been
Yeah.
better.
Oh
So
yeah, that was another thing too. Like 2 days, but a couple days before this announcement, they had just released a Marvel Cinematic Universe uh pack of skins that you could buy from
uh-huh.
the store, and apparently a bunch of people said they bought it, and then they announced this,
Oh,
and
like
so
before this announcement. Oh man,
yeah, I'd be right before this announcement, which I don't know if it
whoopsie.
was intended. Yeah, I'm sure some people bought it because there is a community that plays it because there's a lot of people who like the Avengers. So there's a community
Maybe not.
that does play it.
You just have
So
to imagine that it wasn't intended. Like
yeah, I would hope not.
they were holding out as long as they could, but it's not financially viable anymore. So
Yeah, but it's sad, and this probably means we'll probably never get anything like this before. But at least Midnight Suns, from what I understood, did really well. I'm really upset that I didn't buy it, and I kind of need to go. I feel like I need to just go
I'm
buy it.
I'm
Yeah, but
waiting for
isn't
a
that one of
sale.
the tactics? Isn't that
There's
one
been
of
a
the
couple
tactics?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sales as
yes,
well. Yeah,
Tomas. It is
Yeah.
what
Tomas.
was that?
Yeah.
It's a tactics.
Yep, it's a tactics game.
I
But
if there's anyone that you're gonna like though, Tomas, it's gonna be that one.
Yeah, I might wait for a sale. I'll see.
I think that
yeah,
would be the one that would get you into it.
and I've
Yeah.
heard it's really good too. I've been hearing that it's really good. I've heard the only complaints that I've heard about it is that the open area that you kind of walk around and talk to people is a bit too big.
Mhm.
So it's like kind of
Huh.
a slog.
Is it like
That's like the
empty
only
too? Or just
yeah, there's not a whole lot to do there besides talk
that's
to people.
yeah.
So
They still like Breath of the Wild got it right pretty good, and Red Dead did it really
but
well.
Yeah,
But
I
like that
really
yeah, because
open
it's a
world,
tactic.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, it's
it's
just like a hub too. It's not even. It's
uh,
kind of like the Fire Emblem type of hub where you just have like a hub, and in
yeah, but
between going out and doing a tactics battles.
it sounds like
But
they're
still,
trying to make it like feel open world, I haven't played it, so I
Maybe.
don't
Yeah,
know.
you
But
might be
from what
right. Yeah.
they're like, hey, it is kind of open world, but it's empty. Just make it the
Mhm.
hub. Like, let's give me the straight gameplay then.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
does look
yeah.
good.
It does.
Like the
It looks really
costumes
good, and
look
it's
cool.
probably really fun because I like tactics games, so I really wanted to grab it. But I knew Fire Emblem was coming out. It's also right around Christmas, and so I was like, I didn't know if someone was going to get it
Yeah,
for me or not. So it was like a hard thing to buy. And then by the time you know I could have bought it, uh, I already had games that people had gotten me. I mean, hell, I still have Tactics Ogre right there that's sealed
dude.
because somebody got it for
I
me for
I picked that one up
Christmas.
too. I need to pop that one in. I need to play that one.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
and then I
the
started
other
Fire
one,
Emblem, and I felt bad because I was like, "Oh man,
dude. I
there's a
did.
tactics
Yeah,
games right there already owned."
we're in a tactics renaissance right now, man. I didn't even realize
It's
that.
been that way. Yeah, there's a lot of tactics games. It's gained a big popularity. Uh,
But like, there's going to be a couple years where nothing comes out because we also
yeah,
got that Mario Rabbids game that just came out that I need
yeah,
to
which
play.
poorly performed too. Well, at least it
Yeah,
underperformed, not poorly performed.
but every review I've read or heard is that it's
It's
better
great.
than the first.
It
Yeah,
according to Metacritic, it's better than both Fire Emblem Engage and Triangle
it
Strategy.
probably is, but
So,
I, I don't know. Tomas,
but it
you
doesn't
got to
help.
buy one of these games.
But it doesn't help. It doesn't help that I think they vastly overestimated how popular the first game was. It was popular, but I think the main reason
I
why it was
think
popular is because it was on sale all the time.
it's
That thing,
still,
I
yeah,
bought that thing for like $15.
yeah, same.
So really pretty early in close to when it released. And so like this one's already been on sale a couple
Well,
times. So I think people are
yeah,
just waiting.
you're
Mhm.
probably
Why
right.
wait? Why
Uh, you're
bother?
you're probably right. I
Yeah.
think with the first one, it was a surprise how well it did, even with or without the
Yeah,
sales. It was like, it was the first one, so they're like, let's see if this combo works. It was a risk, and it paid off really
yeah,
well, and it was really well done, and it probably performed better than they thought. And so now the second one's like, well, it has these expectations. It has to do this well. It has to do at least as well as the first one, and it's
yeah.
just not because I don't know, advertising. There's a whole
Mhm.
story
I don't
about Ubisoft right now too. Like, what are they? They've like postponed or canceled all their stuff right now. They have nothing else coming out.
yeah,
It's
they're
weird.
probably struggling or something.
They have 20,000 employees.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
how? Oof,
Anyway,
struggling too
so,
much.
but moving on to some other old news come back, PlayStation's finally getting Discord, which is kind of a big deal. And
Yay!
this 7.0 update. I know you guys don't feel it like I do, but
No,
I've been playing a
I
lot
s-
of cross-play games, which it does make it a struggle. Especially I was playing Warframe recently with some friends, and we had one friend who was on PC, and so like we were just stuck, and we got to the point where he was turning on his PS4 to use the voice chat, but then play on PC.
right.
And so it's just like it needs to happen. And Xbox already got it.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
was
just
I was
nuts.
saying I was like kind of
Oh,
um
okay.
like echoing what you said earlier, like finally, right? Like kind of like,
Oh,
yay,
yeah, yeah,
finally, it's
yeah.
about time. Come on.
It
That's
Yeah.
when we talked about it originally too, PlayStation had just bought like a big chunk of Discord.
yeah, I
So
remember
it was
that.
like, what? And then Xbox got it natively, and it was like, what is happening? Why is this taking
Yeah.
so long? Uh,
Yeah.
but supposedly it's going to be in the 7.0 update. We're going to have full Discord integration. I don't see a date on here, but I do know that when the partnership started, it was back in May 2021, and then Xbox got native support in September 2022. And so now we're
Wow.
finally getting it in 2023. Okay, it looks like the update is scheduled for March 8th.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Gosh,
We'll see what
gosh,
happens, I
still
guess.
another
But this
month, a
is
whole month.
I know this is nuts. I'm just
Uh,
like baffled by this whole thing. Looking at this, like, really, are you serious? This is it, huh? This is a big deal.
yeah,
I mean, it is a big deal,
it
but it should
is.
have happened a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it works out for you. I haven't tried a
Okay,
PS5 in a while.
I feel like this one's a really big topic, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to shut you guys off, and we're gonna move on.
Yeah, I wish we could speak more.
Yeah. Just one more on it. Simple news, done right. All right, so we all know we all know that me and Tomas play D&D. Uh, Kyle doesn't play D&D, but he talks with us about it, and he knows what it is. And
I'm
we
aware of it.
I almost said last session on Nerd BS. We we discussed the OGL 1.1 problems that was going on. One of the
That's
big
right.
things that was brought up, yeah, and one of the big things that was brought up was not in our specific cast, but that was discussed on Twitter from Dungeons and Dragons was, uh, or well, I think it was in Twitter, but it was on the document that was given to people. Was there was a discussion about AI DMs, AI dungeon masters or game masters.
Yeah.
Dungeon master, I guess, is technically trademarked by Dungeons and Dragons, which is I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I
But
had no
anyways,
idea.
so we were talking a little bit about AI dungeon masters, basically somebody who runs the game, but instead a computer. So
Mhm.
like a video game without visuals or with visuals, I suppose, because it would probably have something. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that we were kind of thinking like, how do you guys feel that would work, or would it work, or would it even feel the
Well,
same? Like,
well, I was talking to some people about it, and they they said like they felt like it would work if it was in very constructed, excuse me, in very specific parameters, like like uh, a module or something. Like there's not a lot of room for straying and stuff like that. Like hero adventure guild type stuff. Nothing that requires a lot of interaction with the player and of course the NPCs, because I think the computer is going to struggle to figure out uh computers never seem to do a good job of portraying, at least in video games that I've played, portraying your opinion on something. It's your dialogue's already chosen for you, you know.
interesting. I'm curious to see how it would work at all because I don't know. I don't feel I feel like Dungeons and Dragons or any tabletop RPG. The main way it works is by a DM that can, essentially DM and paint the scenery. I
Yeah.
haven't heard of an AI be able to do that like without sounding like an AI. I guess at the end of the day, you would know it's an AI, and I would if I were playing with an AI DM. I mean, I'm terrible with my DMs as it is. But if I were playing with an AI DM, I just would constantly be trying to find a way to break it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Mm,
that's a good point.
where so
Yeah, like
I don't
where's the
know.
glitch, right? Where can I find
Yeah.
a I think too, like you said, you're already terrible to your DMs. Who are you supposed to get mad at when stuff doesn't go your way? Like you can't like you get mad at the AI, but it's not the same, right? That it's like I can physically, and I know you guys play online, but like I can physically go smack that person if I wanted to. I could drive all the way to your house. So like that kind of emotion too, right? Like that's the
yeah.
emotion that usually the DM would invoke in this kind of game. So is there like a need for this? Is there a market for this at all? Like, it doesn't.
Well, I also think it would be nice for something like this, like like for example, Alan and I were both DMs, and it's very rare that him and I get to sit at the same table as players. So for something like this, it would be like because it's everyone who plays D&D knows it's always easier to find players than it is to find DMs. Like there's never enough DMs.
Yeah,
So
so
it would
that's
give a
cool.
chance. Yeah, so it'd give a chance for like someone like me and Alan to play something.
So are there players that like never GM? They're just not comfortable with it, or what?
Yeah, I mean there
Yeah,
are times.
like I have my brother personally, he will DM, but he doesn't like to. Uh, we and I know there's people who do prefer to play. We have another person
Mhm.
in our group that has DM'd in the past, but got a bit overwhelmed by it, and now
Yeah,
hasn't wanted to do it again
yeah,
yet. He's
Bummer.
talking about it again, so we'll see if we can do
He went
that.
to therapy,
Um,
got some.
he went to therapy. I got you got some Zycan or whatever.
well, yeah,
Uh,
because being well, yeah, but like being a
I think
Sounds
that's
DM.
he's
a I
on.
think that's
He
a
got a
I
prescription.
think that's an anti-cold medicine. But uh we're gonna
Zoloft?
move
Is that
that.
what yeah.
Zoloft, that's what I was like.
Or
No,
Xanax or one of those ones. Yeah.
he said he was having issues like with maps and stuff, but anyways.
PTSD. Yeah.
But
Got it.
he keeps flirting with DMing again now.
Are you allowed to
But
flirt in the game
yeah,
as a
you're
DM?
allowed to flirt.
But
Yes,
as
you
a
can.
DM?
Of
Uh,
course.
oh,
As a
okay.
DM, yes, you're allowed to use NPCs to flirt with the players. Yes, you
So
can.
Yeah, you
that's
gotta
part of
do
the
that all the
perks.
time.
You do.
Yeah.
It's part of the perks. Uh,
By
but
the
yeah,
way,
we
I'm a
are in a
guy.
fortunate position. Yeah, we are a fortunate position where we have quite a few people in our groups that actually want to DM. Uh, I have heard of many groups. There is the meme of forever DM. There are
Yeah.
people who are in groups that nobody wants to DM but them. So this is a thing. This is a problem
Mm.
in the community. So it I could see the purpose of it, but I just can't see it working functionally.
Yeah.
But that's just me, unless I'm
Yeah.
changed by something crazy that they do. But I just don't see it. But
Yeah.
anyways, it doesn't matter. Anyways, because you were saying that they did kind of step back on this for now,
Yeah, they
for the time being.
according to the people I was talking to today at the group, they were saying that they've stepped back from that, saying that it's something that probably will still happen, but not as soon as they had hoped. You know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Seems. I guess I've already said it. I've already given a lot of reasons why I don't think it'll work, and
Yeah.
the technology just probably is not there. That's probably why I don't think it'll work
Yeah.
because it's not there yet.
I don't know if it
But
will ever be there too. It just
I,
that
it,
human touch seems like a pretty important part.
it does, and I agree with you.
Mm.
So it is a very crucial part. Uh, so I don't know unless you till you can
Well,
imitate that.
we'll see.
I just don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe they got some
but
really crazy AIs out there.
they have some decent ones. They come with my brother in law is a coder, and we've had discussions about this in the past because they've started to make software that can essentially software that can make software. It's
Mhm.
becoming a thing, and he swears that it'll never get to the point where you don't need somebody to go through and essentially keep checking what the AI is doing.
Mhm.
He says that an AI uh, won't be
Mhm.
able to do it perfect. You're going to have somebody to go through and fix their mistakes.
Hear that for
But
everyone with
I don't know.
AI wanting cars?
Tisk tisk.
Tisk. All right, but I think
Anyways,
that's good for that. Anyways, I think we might move on to our spoiler section. But Tomas, did you
yeah.
have anything else you'd like to say to the people before you bow out
They got a
before
soapbox
this?
for us.
No. Have a good week.
I love it. Mm,
All right, goodbye, Tomas.
good night, sir.
Let's see. Yeah. All right, excellent. Not excellent. That sounded terrible. Now that
No,
Tomas is out of
he's
the room,
gone.
we can talk about him. No,
He's never gonna listen to this.
anyways, we're gonna do our spoiler, a bit of a spoiler talk about The Last of Us. I'm not sure how long it's gonna be, but this is your warning. Spoilers for Last of Us, episode 1, not 2, just episode 1. So there's your warning.
Yep.
All right. So, Kyle, okay, so it's been a while since I played The Last of Us. I don't remember that section in the beginning, like with him and his actual daughter. I
Yeah.
don't remember that section being that long. Was
No, it wasn't.
is that okay?
It was not that long,
So
but it needed to be for the show because
I felt it did too. I loved the little drama between like how she went and got his watch fixed, and so like later in the episode they like call back to it by she's like, "Oh, it's from the city. Does it matter how long you've been in the city?" Because she went to the city,
right,
and so she was
right,
like
yeah,
worried about it and things like that.
yeah.
So
It was longer than the game part was, but it added some character development that you kind of learn throughout the game, if that makes sense.
yeah, okay,
That they probably they weren't going to be able to put into the movie, because there's in the Rockstar games there's a lot of dialogue that happens while you're just walking around or you're doing puzzles. There's a lot of like with the Red Dead, they're talking and interacting while you're doing the puzzles, which is part of the fun. But
yeah, yeah,
you're not going to be able to just add. They're not going to be doing puzzles in the show. So all that dead time, all that space in between where you kind of get character development, all the little side notes that you read with Joel or whatever, that probably just had to be added in, and I liked it.
yeah.
I did
Oh
like
yeah,
that intro part with his real daughter and with his brother with Tommy, which
yeah.
Tommy, by the way, was
I'm curious to see where that goes because
really
I don't know
good.
if that's a thing in the game, but that's definitely. I'm curious to see where that goes because once they kind of talked to him about him in the Apocalypse Town, I was like, "Oh, what happened to Tommy?" And it seems like he like joined the Fireflies. That's the name of the organization, right? That
Yeah,
it's the good guys.
it's
Good guys. They're good guys, right? I get the feeling they're like good guys. There's something going on there. Um.
well, I mean, I don't want to say anything because there's
Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's true because we're technically on episode 1, so there's a lot going on here.
and
Uh,
like
that
you
we don't
never
know.
finished the game, so I don't want to say
No, I
anything.
didn't.
And I don't know,
I
maybe
appreciate that.
I don't maybe they'll I don't know which way they're going to swing it either, too. So,
Yeah, I
um
after watching it, I was like debating trying to play it again, but I was like sitting there, I was like, do I want to? Because if I
they
do,
got
then I'll get to the game, then I'll have spoilers for the show. Maybe I should wait to finish the show before I want to go back because
yeah. Oh, that's a
they're
good yeah.
re-releasing because they just released the newer version, right? The
Yeah,
remake. Did that
PS5
just
one,
come
yeah.
out?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
see they did it right, unlike Marvel Avengers. But yeah, there's a PS5 version that's I guess it's just a
Not
remaster.
on sale because I looked at it because I was like, well, maybe it'll be
Dude,
on
yeah, what
sale,
the heck?
during this hype. Nope, not on sale. They're
There's a
riding this hype hard.
uh, I think maybe it is a full remake, quote unquote, because
It's a remake. Yeah, it is a full remake. Yes,
there's a
I looked it up.
remaster on
It was
PS4 that I recommend
yes.
if you just get that one.
That one's technically free if you have PS Plus. That one's in
Oh, yeah.
the PlayStation collection, so you can get that one no problems as long as you have PlayStation Plus. The
Yeah.
base, you don't even need like the any of the higher ones.
Yeah, maybe just wait until you watch the
That's
show
what
first.
That's what I'm thinking too, because I kind of knew some things, but I gotta watch my family's. Like I knew what was gonna happen with his daughter because I did play the beginning of the game, so I knew that.
Yeah.
Um, but I did watch my family like get to see that happen, which was good. Well, not good, but I mean it was interesting to see the reaction. Uh, and I did
Yeah.
love the
It's
contrast between
tough.
her and Ellie. They really portrayed that very well. That they're very different people,
His
and
daughter, you
so
mean, and Ellie?
yeah, his daughter and Ellie, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I don't know, I thought was good. It's probably good,
But
right?
it's another part of the story that I don't want to really talk about yet. But yeah, it's
Makes it difficult, yeah, because you know where everything is. So from what I understood, that this season is going to be season 1. Okay, so I'm not looking up anything right this second, but I thought I heard that season 1 is actually going to be the entirety of the first game, and then
Hmm.
season 2 could potentially be the sequel.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I
Okay.
don't think we'll see. We'll see how this season goes. I don't know if I even want a season 2 because you're talking about like
Really?
Walking Dead. Yeah, if this
Yeah.
season's good, like let's just end it and be like, yeah, that's a wrap.
Well, but
You
if they
know?
did make the game though,
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
mean, that means there's already story for the second one is what I'm getting at. So that means
It is
they got
there.
like season 1, season 2 over. I don't know how season 2 end or Last of Us 2 ends. Does it end like on a cliffhanger? Cuz I don't know if they making a third one? I don't know. I have no idea.
No, it doesn't, but it could be. There could be a third one.
Did this one have
If
like
that
a
makes sense.
cliffhanger? Did the first game have a cliffhanger at all?
Oh man. Yes.
In a while?
I'll just
Oh,
say yes.
yes. Okay.
I'll just say yes.
Okay. So the first one has a cliffhanger, but the second one doesn't really. So,
Yeah.
okay, that's
Not like
interesting.
not like the first one did. I mean, but this at
Okay.
the same time, they could have just stopped at the first one and it would have been fine, if
Could've
that
been
makes
fine,
sense.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I got you.
it wasn't like they had to make the second one, but there was questions where you're like, I would like to know what happens after the first one. So,
Yeah.
um,
Alright,
but
well,
yeah,
like,
did you know about Ellie and
what about her?
her ability
I have no
before
idea
going into the show?
Oh! I didn't remember it, no,
Okay,
honestly.
so did that kind of did you
Yeah,
pick up on
that threw me
that?
off
And
for a second. Like, I kinda understood it, like, when the whole part at the end where she scanned her and she was freaking out, and then she showed her the scar, I was like, "Oh, that's why they had it in the thing because they were
yeah,
testing her, and they're seeing if she was changing." That made sense. I had a assumption of that kind of at the beginning,
yeah,
but, when we saw Ellie for the first time, but then that kinda, like, nailed it in at that point. It's like, "Okay, I get it." But then what I didn't like, though, is at the end of the episode, they had like this like trailer thing that kind of showed like what's going to happen this season. Which again, I
I
talked about this for
we did,
Wednesday.
yeah, we did talk about
They did
this.
the same thing in this one,
I
and they
didn't watch it.
showed like a. Oh, do you not want me to
No, you could. No,
spoil
I
it?
don't
I don't
care.
know.
No, that's fine.
Okay, it was in the trailer. They basically showed like the scar that she just showed her, like it's like bleeding or something, or spreading, or something happens. We don't know
Right.
what entirely, but it kind of showed it. So something is going to happen with that. I don't know what that means, but I guess we'll see when that happens. We went all the end. Honestly, I would recommend going to the end because it is actually pretty cool. They did this kind of thing with Mandalorian too a little bit on Netflix. They did like they have like a little 5 minute like behind the scenes thing at the end of it,
Oh,
which is really cool. You get to
I
watch
like
like some of the cast working together and things like that.
I like watching that at the end of the show, if that's what you
That
meant.
makes sense. Yeah, I
I
could
like
see that.
watching. I like being immersed in it, finishing it out, and then going, okay, let's take a step back. Let's peek behind the curtain. That's how I
Yeah.
like doing that with this show. So
Eh,
I will check that out. I didn't know they had that.
yeah, it's pretty cool. We didn't really know either. We were kind of because we're always the Marvel MCU like, oh my god, is there going to be
Uh,
something at the end? So we like just fast
I didn't
forward
even
and
think
wait. And it's
about
like, oh,
that.
something
Yeah.
popped up. Yeah. So we just checked it out and we saw the trailer and then we saw that stuff too. Uh, well, I mean, what would you say is your like favorite part of this episode? Like, what hits you the best in this episode?
What hit me the best? I think just.
Yeah, like what did you enjoy the most? Like, what scene or maybe a line of dialogue or what?
I think overall the acting took me by surprise that it was done really well,
Hmm.
from pretty much every actor. Even down to the
Yeah. Oh yeah.
kids.
Everybody was top quality for sure.
Yeah, like I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting there to be a lot of cheese and poor acting, but you know, maybe they took that seriously. So I guess one part I did like was the part with the grandma at the beginning,
Uh huh.
scene with his real daughter with Sarah,
Yeah.
when she kind of like bugs out and like twitches with her back turned when
Oh
she's in the
yeah,
wheelchair like that.
That was crazy.
that was a little like just horror filmish. Like that wasn't, I don't remember
Uh-huh.
that being in the game.
That was pretty
That
slick,
wasn't part of
yeah.
the intro. So like that was kind of cool. That definitely set the tone because that's when things started to churn, right? You get, like you mentioned, like you get hints of it. They talked about like like a fungus at the beginning and that weird interview thing, which I don't know how I felt about that. It was very forgettable. That whole like in the 70s or whatever, the very first interview they were doing about the fungus on that
Oh,
TV
yeah.
show.
I really like that because I thought it grounded the show. Because I mean, in our day and age, we're dealing with a climate change problem right now. So I thought it kind of like grounded, like this could happen because that mushroom exists. It's a real mushroom that obviously only attacks insects. I don't know if what they said after that was true, like entirely, but it seemed feasible. So I thought it kind of grounded it. I don't know. So
Yeah,
I did like it.
and it gave some, you know, some clarity to what was happening, you know,
Yeah.
if you had never played the game. So I thought that's all it was, but you make a good point about that. Um yeah, so that whole, I'm glad they extended that intro with his previous
Oh
life,
God.
you know. Eh,
That's Yeah,
eh,
because that's if I was gonna pick a scene, I think that was what I was thinking of. Like, besides the radio stuff, which I thought was really interesting. I don't know if that's part of the game, but actually, that was a really cool how they were using the different music from the different eras as their message to each other.
oh yeah,
That
yeah.
was kind of cool. But
That was
really,
cool.
I think my favorite part was just the driving, like leaving, like how they went picked her up, and then it was just like a freaking roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
The house burning. They saw the family that was on the side of the road. They drove through the field. They got to the
Mhm.
town, and then like they're like backing up, and then that plane's coming down, which was freaking phenomenal looking.
That was cool.
And then like yeah, and up until right when when his daughter gets shot, it's like just all that was just like it just shows how fast that was, and they really did a good job
Yeah,
because if you're in a moment like that, it would feel fast, like it would feel like you do not have enough time to do anything,
dude.
and it
So
felt that way.
like we're just coming out of a real life global pandemic, and
Yeah.
and I had played this game and I had played other games because I I like that kind of storyline. But there was a part of me when COVID hit, I was like, okay, I've played enough video games. I know what's about to, like I know what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. We're gonna have to get the car ready. Um, and thank God, it did not happen that way.
No, no, no.
But I feel like the car scene was more intense playing it because you're
Uh-huh.
controlling it and you're it was pretty straightforward, but you're kind of making the decisions. There's
Oh yeah, it's been a
I
while
mean,
since I've done it. I
you
didn't know you're
don't
making
have,
decisions. That's
I
cool.
don't think you have the options, but you feel like you're making the decisions. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
I don't think you have options. You're just controlling
Well,
it.
I mean, that makes sense though. Like, you don't have you think you have options, and you're trying different options.
Right.
You only have one option.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's kind of like put you in that weird panic mode in a way.
Yeah.
Like, I
And
gotta do this. Oh, I can't do that now. I gotta do this. Like,
and you'd already played that part, so you knew that his daughter wasn't going to make it, and so
yeah,
that sets the tone of the show, right? So if you're saying that the interview grounds it, then now that sets the tone of the show of just like
yeah,
anything's possible, anything can happen to anybody at any moment, right? Which makes it even more, I don't know, the risks are higher.
hmm
Like even with Walking Dead, this, I guess at that first season, the couple main characters didn't make it, but most of them did. So
yeah,
you never know. I'll just say that you never know what's going to happen.
yep. Well, I'm excited for more for sure, but I think we've kind of rung the ringer on the first episode for now.
True, it was good.
Unless you have any final statements, yeah.
I was just pleasantly surprised with it. I was happy with how well done it was, and I'm probably going to go watch the second episode right now.
Yeah. Oh God,
How about
it's
you?
way too late for me. I'll watch it. We're gonna watch it tomorrow. We've already been talking about it with I already talked with the family, so we're planning on watching it tomorrow. I'm really excited. My expectations were really high, so
Oh,
and I
really?
was not disappointed. Yeah, so
Nice.
I was very happy with how it turned out, and I was happy
Yeah,
that my family was enjoying it as well. So we're all gonna be on this ride
yeah.
together.
I hope they keep it going because there's man that was just the intro, right? They haven't gotten to
Uh-huh.
the meat of it yet, so
Oh yeah.
that's gonna be
I'm
good.
wondering if they get to the scene where I actually stop playing, if it's gonna bother me. I'm gonna see.
I
I
know.
know exactly because I still remember where it was. I have it in my
Uh,
brain. I'm visualizing it right now. It was
wow.
terrifying. So
Yeah,
I'm waiting to see what happens.
it's a claustrophobic game, right? And then
Yeah.
by the time I got to the second game, you kind of know the routine and the rhythm of the game. You're like, oh, I'm gonna have to go into that building, aren't I? Like I'm gonna have to crawl around and listen for whatever's out there. So yeah, it's a claustrophobic. I think is a good word. If they can make you feel that way while watching, then they've succeeded and
They've
at where the
succeeded
game did.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know
All
if that's
right.
how you
Sounds
felt,
good.
but maybe.
Not in this episode. I haven't felt that way yet. You mean in the game?
Yeah, in the
Yeah, I could
game.
totally see. I could see that. Yeah, I could see that in the game. With your description.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's been a while since I played the game, but I do remember the beginning, and then I remember the scene where I stopped playing, and I
Oh,
remember like
cool.
little spotty things from there. So I'm curious to
I'm curious.
see,
I'm very
yeah, how far I
curious.
actually got in. I really want to play it now, but I think I am gonna wait till I watch the show in its entirety, and then maybe at that point I don't want to play it because like I've already know what's gonna happen, so it won't matter anymore. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe. I think you should watch it first, though.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I think it's a good time to wrap it up right there. But look forward to next episode. I can't wait to talk more
Yeah.
Last of Us, and hopefully Tomas can join us next time on the spoiler section. So until then, we'll see y'all in 2 weeks in February. Later.
Have a good night.